Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, the Pentagon's IG is assessing its Replicator autonomous drone initiative, and Commerce calls on the government to monitor OpenAI Foundation model risks. It's Tuesday, July 30th, 2024. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. Here are today's top headlines. Amid the Replicator program's blitz to field and deploy thousands of autonomous drones by 2025 to contend with China, the Department of Defense's Inspector General has launched a new evaluation to comprehensively assess that high-stakes initiative. The Department of Defense Office of Inspector General issued a memorandum Monday to multiple military and civilian components, solidifying its official plans for the new review. An OIG spokesperson told Scoop News Group that during the evaluation, the focus will be to determine the effectiveness with which the Services and Defense Innovation Unit selected capabilities for the Replicator Initiative to meet the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command's operational needs, calling it a self-generated project based on ongoing analysis of DoD operations and programs. Deputy Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks first launched Replicator late last summer, billing it as a strategic move to confront China's massive ongoing military buildup by accelerating the adoption of attritable autonomous systems in multiple combat domains through replicable processes within 18 to 24 months. DoD leadership and insiders have been expressly tight-lipped about the ambitious effort since its inception, frequently citing security concerns. But so far, Pentagon officials have secured roughly $500 million from Congress for fiscal 2024 to move forward with Tranche 1, and they are requesting an additional $500 million for fiscal 2025. In April, Defense Scoop reported that the department's first tranche choices for replicator systems include kamikaze drones, unmanned surface vessels, and counter-drone system. Although the initial aim of the OIG's evaluation is to determine the effectiveness with which the services and DIU picked capabilities that can meet the demands of Indo-PACOM's operational needs, the memo states that the watchdog may revise or expand the objective of this replicator assessment as officials proceed. A Pentagon spokesperson told Defense Scoop that the DoD intends to cooperate fully and with expediency to support the IG's review. In other news, the Department of Commerce and its National Telecommunications and Information Administration issued a new report Tuesday that recommends the U.S. government should monitor risks stemming from OpenAI Foundation models and be prepared to take action if those risks intensify. That report, which was shared with FedScoop ahead of its official publication, focused on analyzing the risks and benefits of dual-use foundation models, large and complex models trained on huge data sets and adaptable for an array of uses, with widely available model weights, sometimes referred to as open foundation models. It comes at the direction of the White House's executive order on AI, which required NTIA to evaluate and develop recommendations for the models. While NTIA cited benefits of open foundation models as diversifying and expanding those that can participate in AI research and development and decentralizing control of the AI market, the agency also said that widely available model weights could pose risks to things like national security, privacy, and civil rights through misuse or if guardrails aren't in place. Ultimately, the report concludes that there isn't enough evidence to definitively determine either that restrictions on such open weight models are warranted or that restrictions will never be appropriate in the future. Instead, NTIA makes recommendations that the government collect evidence on the models, evaluating that evidence and acting on those evaluations. Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo said that today's report provides a roadmap for responsible AI innovation and American leadership by embracing openness and recommending how the U.S. government can prepare for and adapt to potential challenges ahead. According to the report, evidence collection could mean encouraging standards and, if appropriate, compelling audits, disclosures, and transparency for dual-use foundation models. Evaluating that, meanwhile, may including the development of benchmarks and definitions for monitoring and potential action, and maintaining and bolstering federal government expert capabilities in technical, legal, social science, and policy domains to support the evaluation of evidence. Eventually, actions from the government could include access restrictions on models and other methods of risk mitigation. But NTIA recommended that the government should not restrict the wide availability of model weights for dual-use foundation models at this time, emphasizing that monitoring and evaluation should come first. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, visit fedscoop.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people to find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back tomorrow with more top headlines. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.